All right. So today is February 11th, 2019. It is late, so I'm going to be going to bed soon. But by a few requests to make this video and kind of go a little bit more into depth as to what I've been describing, I have decided to do it. So right here, I've got a 4-hour chart on link, and I've replayed back to where my entry was originally on this position. Um, we've got a little bit of an uptrend here, and so the question becomes, if we get a good entry, what I'm going to be doing is, as opposed to just trailing my, and I've already started doing this, as opposed to just trailing my entry with a stop loss as it breaks resistance, and I can find a good area that I won't get prematurely stopped out so I can ride it for the full run. I am going to be, I've noticed looking at my trade logs that I can significantly improve my profitability with identifying high and extremely high probabilities of strong resistance to match with PSRs, previous zones of support and resistance, as well as Fibonacci retracements. In crypto, more than anything, even though these are very well respected in the stock space, in crypto, after almost a year and a half in crypto, I have noticed in watching thousands of hours of chart and trading it, extreme consistencies and certain fibs being highly respected. I think in main part is because there's a lot of computers that are trading this, and so we'll talk about some of them. But the very first thing that I do is I will look at a time frame of about 4 hours or one day, and I will identify. So let me use the different colors here. So let's go ahead and grab some PSRs here, and we're going to mark them red, strong PSRs on the day. So support on the way down will be resistance on the way up. Okay. And then I am going to be also mapping. Oh, I wanted to replay it to show it here, so you'll understand kind of where we're at. So let's actually start with, this is what it would look like back then. Let's just use the 4 hour, for example. But then I will look as I was just doing to the one day, and then I'll see, okay, because it's easier to see candles on the one day. Say, all right, you know what? That should be an area of, that was support, should be resistance. Same thing with this, same thing with these, right? And so when the price was down here, I can say, you know what? It's a very high probability I should take some profit here and probably here. But this is the first step, right? So we're going to identify PSR. So let's go back to a 4 hour and go to what the price looked like before we made an entry. So I'm looking at the 4 hour, and I will map those two, right? Find one there, boom, boom, boom. And also that is also already confirmed it to be resistance ones, right? Another area too that I'll look at that should be resistance, probably be somewhere around here. Support, support, resistance, resistance. So somewhere probably there, although I don't expect them to be as big as these, right? So the price broke through this area of consolidation here. So it's going to take a lot to break through those two zones there, right? These will probably be little, smaller ones since the price is in this range anyway. So I won't pay as much attention to that. And then I may put another one like right there, all right? Small, big areas of resistance. Now, how do we identify what are the targets on the way up? I'm going to grab a fib from the last peak to the left. Some people like to grab it here. This is my flavor of it, to the current low, which is here. And so I put the 0 there, I put the 1 up there, and the 0 here. And so the way I look at this is, all right, What a coincidence. Do you guys see this right now? The 382 matches with that PSR without even running fibs. I already had an idea that this would be an area. I mean, it was telling us resistance, resistance, resistance. The price has been chilling on the 236, and now it's going to fight. So the first area to break through, right? And to me, we keep making higher lows, right? So we're getting into a wedge, and it's tapping once, tapping again, 1, 2, 3, and it's building with strength. So a breakout is the higher probability setup. So we got in somewhere there. Now, the targets that I'm going to be looking for on the way up are going to be the 382, generally speaking, if we're at a bottom, the 5, the 618, 76, and so forth. The most popular that this is what I'm saying for me are usually 236 on a big, huge move, right? Price will bottom out, break down, boom, consolidate down here for a while. Then it'll first tap a 236 and retrace, especially the first tap, right? As you can see here, the first tap, it just came back down. So I'm going to be looking to take profit, at least partial profit, right? So if I have an entry here and I've got 100 coins of XYZ, Felipe is going to be looking for taking partial profit of that, 25 or 50% of that at that next resistance point. But I wouldn't do it here because we've already tapped it. We're likely just going to break it. So the next two zones, the 5 matches with that PSR. And then the 618 is pretty close to this one. And then, looking at a 4-hour, those are the two ones we saw on the daily as well. Looking at a 4-hour, I can tell that there's been resistance there, here, here, here. So I can consider that to match this, right? And then there was support, a little bit of support there, and then resistance there. So that's a zone that I'm going to say, you know what, when the price comes close to this here, and then I start to draw zones. And I say, all right, PSR and fib match the 618. Good enough for me. PSR and fib match there at the 5. Good enough for me, right? And then there was a tap of, an almost tap here of resistance. So I will also look out for that option. And I'm going to show you guys a real life example of something that I've had, a chart that I've had for weeks now. So I'm going to hit play, and we're going to see the price develop. All right, so we've got the price coming up. This time, boom, do you see that clean break of the 382? Just didn't even just like butter, right? And on a 1 hour, we'll see it closely, right? More closer, but breaks, hooks back to the range that it broke. This is where the big money comes in. Look at where it finds support at the 382, right? Sometimes you're like, oh shit, it's just, the range, or why did it find support? When it breaks, you want to put your entry, at least that's what I do, put my entry there if I missed a breakout. And then, what a fucking coincidence. What's the next place? What was tapped? Look at that, 618. So because there's a fib there and a PSR, I would have had my exit right there. Or if I'm watching this and I get the alert, I'm taking 25 to 50% of my position out right there. Boom. Or I will freaking put a very, very tight stop loss. So let's go to the 618. And this is what I did with Link. I saw it hit there and I was like, okay, I'm going to give it some room because if we look at this here, there's times where it hits the target and it retraces a little bit and then goes for the next one. So I put a tight stop loss and I got stopped out on that, and then I had another one below the 5 to protect. I said, all right, you know how it flipped it here and turned it into support? Well, it did that there and my stop loss was fine, but it got hit somewhere down here. I think I put it below here because I saw resistance here and resistance there, and I was like, you know what, I'll use that fib and that resistance as a point. So boom, I got stopped down, I took profit. And then the other one was like right here. And so now it's starting to look like it's in a place to get in, right? So if anything, I could take the money that I got out here at this target and re-put it back in. That alone, it's been, since that target was hit till today, it's been 2 days and 11 hours. Plenty of opportunity to plan and say, all right, well, where do I want to get back in? We'll talk about how I've assessed that, right? But even if I just said, hey, my original entry was down here. So if I take 25% or 50% out and I put it back in here and it still falls, guess what? I still made this differential. I improved my position by 6%, right? But if I wait and I'm patient and I look for a place, all right, where was there resistance, strong consolidation in the zone, probably a good area to put my entry in, right, to get back in, I would have done a 4%, 14% improvement, profit improvement. So what does that mean? Well, if I got in here, like we got in either here or here, let's just say here, that's 16%. And I will take, let's just use for a matter of example, if I took the entire position out, the 618, because it's the first tap, I have actually done that before. Now in the second tap, I'm not going to take it all out. I'll probably take 25% out. Again, if I got back in here, and I'll scale out again at the next target, put it back on retracement, or just, the other thing too I've done too is just take 25% out and then go put that in a different trade. Keep trailing the rest with a stop loss. Next time it hits the next target, take 25% out and then move that money somewhere else. And so there's always going to be a good trade and a good setup at some point somewhere. So we made, in that example, 16%. And then the price retraced 13%. So I can get back in here. So I made profit from here to here, 16%. Plus, I saved myself a 14% loss. So had I just been fucking holding with a stop loss the entire time, I would have given up by now 80%, almost 90% of my potential gains. It's my example to this is like if you have a job and you go to a job and you work all day, and at the end of the day your boss is like, for some technicality or whatever reason, hey, sorry, thanks for your work, but I can't pay you for today. Do you mind just calling it even? Tomorrow you come, and I'll pay you. And you're like, shit. Well, you showed up to work. You didn't really lose money at work aside from losing time, which theoretically is money. But you go home and you have less time in your hands. And so for me, it's like, all right, I entered a trade. And I was on this trade for, let's say we got in like right there. One day, now it's been 3 days and 18 hours, and I would have just given up all the fucking profit. Watch my account go up, watch it go back down. So especially in crypto and in the sort of bearish market conditions that we've been in, that we continue to be in, I'm taking fucking profit at the big targets, right? In this case, I also would have, knowing that the 5 had been tapped before already, just like the 318, I'm unlikely gonna take profit right there. I'm gonna go and say, all right, the next target is it breaks through, because it's like a spring. It's been getting more power, so it'll probably just slice through the area it's already been tapping, and already tapped the 5 ones. But you can also put 5%, half of the 25% there, so 12.5% there and there, or 2 25% chunks here and here. The difference between here is 6%, right? Boom, I'll take the money out, put it back in, or move on to another trade. So what I look for are areas of strong PSRs from the move to the top on the left to the bottom that are of high probability of resistance, where people are going to be taking profit. And I can tell you the 618 is a big one. Fuck, you see them hit that all the time, and then it dies. Now, we can take it a level further, right? And you can run fib extensions, for example. I don't use these a lot, but say the price came from here to there, right? And that 1-to-1 extension is going to be there, which is, for me, another area. All right, I want to take profit around there. Now, I've gotten greedy, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to put it at the PSR. And guess what? They respected the fib more than the PSR. 1.3% difference made me miss out on 14% of improvement to my position, or I would have, essentially taken a 14% hit to my profit. And I would have, again, I would have continued to trail with my stop loss here with a 2% risk, and I would be moving it up to break even at this point. Now, I think what I'm going to be looking for now is Link to do one of these things. Boop. And that is where I would get in, because then I can put my stop loss below that. It's a high probability setup. Or the price could easily come down and find support here, but I think this is a good area. There, like I can get into this trade even right now with about, I would feel more comfortable putting below that fib, below this PSR as protection, but really if it makes another lower low, chances are it'll go even lower. But technically, or you could technically even dive in deeper and say, you know what, I'll go in with a 1% risk and hope for the best. But the confirmation is watching it break through, flipping it in support, getting in for that ride. And then the next target, it might actually, here's what you look out for. This essentially, in this trend here, has established a low. Price a lot of times will come hit the 5 and then break down. Or sometimes go back up again one more time and then break down to the next fib, which would be the 236 in this case. So you've got to find the flavor, right? And you got to watch and you got to chart and you got to observe and take notes and save screenshots, or else, you're just treating this like a hobby. So that's, 1-to-1 extension's a popular one. So that would have told me, you know what, I'll go for it. There's also, trying to see. So now what targets am I looking for as well on the way up? Bigger targets. So I'd like to consider this almost like a wave 1, 1, 2, and then this being a 3, and the making of a 3. But technically it's violating that already here. If this would have just maintained up here, then it would have been more valid. It would have been valid. But I will also run fibs in this perspective to give me some clarity. I'll give these a different color. Black ones. 200%. So a 2 extension is a very popular target in crypto. So I see this as a long-term target and where we would go, right? Now the bigger target is going to be these, right? So once we clear this and we clear this zone up here, the 1, then I'm going to do this, start the same cycle. Tap the 1236, tap the 1382, tap the 1618, tap the 1764. I need to adjust my fibs. It's almost the same as the 786. I actually am cleaning this up because this is a clusterfuck right now. I can go to my doubles. Let's see the same shit. Oops. These I think are a little bit more cleaned up. Let me do extend lines. Yeah, I need to clean them up. So anyway, I'm cleaning this up, so I'm removing some of these in the 98%. I kind of like to keep, sometimes literally you'll see moves like retrace 98% of the way, like we saw in the bear market, and then dump. Same thing if we were to do, that move upside down. So I start to find, and so like I'll say, okay, this is actually a 1, 2, 3, 6, 6, 1, 8. Fuck, I'm gonna take profit right there. Next target, what do we have? Right, what's the PSR here? Well, this was support on the way down. It would probably be resistance. Oh, what a fucking coincidence! It matches perfectly with the 1618. Guess where I'm gonna take fucking profit? Somewhere between there and there. I'm gonna take 25% of profit out. Once we break through and we consolidate above this range, remember the target here is this one, right? Then we move on to the next level. If that holds a support, then we're going to move on to the next level. This one, this one, this one, somewhere up here, and then the 2 up here, right? And then we keep moving up in levels. And then what a fucking coincidence. Now, I have the 2236 because I swear in crypto, those 2 are fucking tapped all the time. Right there and right there, right? What a coincidence. I measure that first resistance point, that bottom to here, and I get a 4.236. This is a famous fib in crypto, and look what it matches. So this is a long-term, this target could take months, right, to hit there. As long as we hold this bottom, this shit's gonna go up there. Period. It is how it happens. It's crypto. It's controlled by fucking computers. And then the rest is just a bunch of us humans trying to trade along. And your goal is just to find a way to ride the coattails. So we've cleared that, and so now you know this is the next target. I won't take profit again here. Maybe a little bit. Like I said, sometimes the price will come up here and dump, but I'll be trailing it bit by bit by remainder, and then I'm looking for those bigger targets. Now we look at BBT, and I want to show you some live examples on a chart that I did. I did this chart. The last time I shared it with the group is, I think we were like, yeah, so the price was here, and I was like, we're either going to do this, this, and this, right? So I charted from here to here. So now, right, using the history that I have, once we have a bottom, I can then figure out what are the targets. This is in retracement, all right? So now I'm measuring from here to here to figure out where is going to be a good place to get in. My favorite places, higher probability bounces, are always going to be the majority, 382, 236. If it's a very bullish coin, sometimes it only retraces to the 618 and it goes, right? This coin already did like almost 200%. There, boom. Perfect, 200%. So I didn't expect it to hit the 618 and just fly. So I mapped this out. I put alerts there on these right over the fibs. I grab these, overlay them, put an alert, send me a text or an email, let me hit that, right? And I colored in yellow. I said, you know what? This area here, resistance 382. This is probably where I want to get in. I may expect to see a head and then get on the right shoulder. You know, and I draw this because sometimes it visually helps me practice to see what to expect, what's to come. So I go ahead and hit play. Let's go fast forward it a little bit. And you can see price dropped, almost tapped at 382, right? Here's why PSRs are also important, right? You got to consider PSRs and fibs. Here, the price did not even go as high. What was the zone of resistance? Right here. What was the last zone of support? There. Somewhere there on that wick, right? If you want to be safe, then I'll be penny pinching. Pick the lowest one. I mean, it's pretty fucking close. Like if you wanted to get out, if you got in, pick the lowest wick and say, all right, I'm getting out there. You would have missed out on like 1.5%. You would have avoided a 28% flip or loss if you're an idiot and you're not trading with a stop loss. And so we technically could have a left shoulder and a head, which is what I look for, and then the right shoulder there, right? I was trading other stuff today, so I didn't really pay much attention to this. We could easily still get stuck and choke here and come down to the 236. It's going to be very important to clear this zone here, right? And the way that I do it, let's just say that if that's a bottom, we're going to do the same thing that we just did. Find PSRs, measure here, and say, all right, if that's my bottom for now, my local bottom, what are the targets? We already broke the 236. Now we just broke to the 382. What a fucking coincidence. Look at where that is finding support. Not at the 618. It's finding support at the 382 that it just broke. You're ballsy, you can get in there and put a stop loss below, the area that might offer you some protection. Could be, I don't know, let me see some here. It could be somewhere there, maybe somewhere there. Let's change colors. But on a coin like this, you're taking an exponential risk getting in here, because just to be protected by those with an entry there, you got to risk like 6%. And really, the best protection is going to be that 236 because it proved to be support, and you've got these zones of resistance. Anyway, the next target on this sucker is going to be the 5. Now, in crypto, I see these fibs right here as the most respected. In my opinion, 236 on the way up, 382. For some reason, they don't give a fuck about the 5 most of the times. If they do, they tap it, but they don't retrace much, and then boom, they go for the 618. Those 3 are the most respected. And if I had to pick the 2, 382 and 618, I'm going to fuck with those fibs. High probability. Now, guess what's interesting? I have a 618. I have a PSR, right? Price choke there, and the 786 is here. So somewhere in this vicinity is going to be a good place to take profit. And so if the price goes like this, comes up, taps here, it'll very likely come back to consolidate before moving up again. So plenty of opportunity for me to find a reentry. And I'm also doing this in higher time frames. Higher the time frame, the less noise you gotta fucking deal with, right? And then of course, like, I expected the possibility I would do the red line, the head to come over here, and it can still do it. It can come over here, boom, fake everybody out, think it's a breakout trade, come dump to here, to then make this a left shoulder, make this a head, and then go up and then do the same shit to keep moving up. So in priority, map your PSRs. The higher the time frame, the better. The day, the 4 hour, on your fibs, here to here. This from here down to here is to determine the targets on the way up, right? Now on link, what I would have done is I'm looking for a re-entry. I am going to, let me change the color to black. Let me hide these for a hot second, actually. They can achieve the same thing. So I'm going to grab that top, all right, with a target hit, and I'm going to be looking for a zone of re-entry. Well, what have I seen? This is the 5 and this is the 382. Very strong area of consolidation, but the move's kind of already in motion to make a bigger move, and so it may actually never even break below the 5. It's be a good area to take a potential entry, but as mentioned, price could come here, give you like this is what I call the head fake, and then drop it one more time here, and then it'll go whoop, and then start flipping and then moving up those targets. Every single day, watch your charts, chart them, take notes. You'll see that shit over and over. That's kind of the advantage of crypto, is that this thing is run by computers, that it's, in a way, it's more predictable once you understand the setups but it's probability. It's not going to be 100%, but the nice thing is you have much less influence of the fundamentals like you do in the stock market, where there's really good earnings. Fucking garbage coins don't have any fundamentals, so it's more driven by what Bitcoin's going to do. Like this could be in a really good run and Bitcoin starts to dump and only a few coins will save themselves. Otherwise, all will dump with it. And so there's, I guess, fundamentals on the Bitcoin side of things, but they're not real fundamentals. It's just more bullshit that gets printed on the news to justify what the fuck's already been done on the chart. So anyway, I hope this helps. I've tried to be as thorough as possible. As mentioned, my plan is to work these targets on the way up. I did it with my XRP trade. I did it with my Link trade. And I did it with my, which one was my other trade? Oh, Bitcoin Cash. This was probably the best fucking, I'll give you an example why. Why you take that profit. It's always hard to find this. The USDT pair. There we go. So in a coin with a lot more history, right, I'm going to be considering the bigger picture. Say, all right, high at the last point here before we made this low. Say TRX is hitting on daily PSR. I'm going to go there. Seems like a lot, right? So anyway, those fibs, right? So the target's on the way up. It's going to go for the 236 first and probably come back. It's going to take a lot of juice to break through this. Why? Look at all the consolidation that it broke under. It's like the same shit that when Bitcoin broke below 6K, this is what it looked like. And it's going to take a lot for us to break up that, right? But we're creeping up. Boom. Higher lows. We can continue this. And eventually we're going to go whoop, tap. Probably pull back a little bit, and then we're going to move up and go up and go like this, and then we're going to go boom, and we're going to go after the 382. Sorry, my mouse froze. Boom, 382, pull back a little bit, tap, boom, 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 boom. Sometimes even not even give you a retracement at the 5, and then go for the 618. So those are the targets, right? And again, I'm going to do the same shit that we just talked about. I'm going to go in my chart. Look at the 4 hour. I'm going to say, all right, That's going to be a PSR. We have this is all going to be a PSR somewhere there. And of course it matches with the 5. I like to look left. So the farthest left is where I'll start. Which in reality I need to zoom in more. But it's like, yeah, on the way down, on the retracement, I look down and right and know that an area they're going to probably most likely go retest is that right there. And you see why this isn't a perfect example of something I mentioned earlier. Price came all the way up here. It's like, oh my god, we're gonna break for the breakout. Full fuck you. It's probably a 786 right there. Grab the top, grab the bottom. Look at that, even almost an 88, 786. So anyway, I'm going through. I'm saying, all right, there's gonna be resistance there. There'll probably be resistance there. These are 4-hour candles, so these will be important. There'll probably be resistance there. There will probably be resistance somewhere here. And instead of mapping every one, like on the 1 day, I will map each candle because it's less noise. But here I can say, you know what, this will be a probably PSR matches with that there. Let's even grab it all the way over here. And then another area here. And then now watch, right? Look how crazy, what a fucking coincidence. Look what fib happens to be right there, that 382. So guess what? Same thing like we have here. Support, like we're currently sitting underneath a PSR. And then there's going to be one here that matches with that. This was resistance in the past. So it's going to take a lot. So I'm going to take profit there, right? Why? I'm not going to get greedy and try to wait for the PSR. I'm sorry, for the fib, right? This one's 73.30, this one's 73.33. And I may, what I'll do is I'm going to put a sell order. And I'm using our bot, just which is a Python script, so I can then put sell targets, but still maintain stop loss. You can't do that in Binance right now. You got to pick one or the other manually. So that's where I would actually take profit, 71.36. We literally just did this, right? And so the screenshots that I shared with the group of my trade log was because I did this. On this move here, I grabbed the last, some people like to grab the last high before, boom, it put the new bottom. You could use this, it's personal preference. Let me just use the very last wick here. Let me make these blue. So why did I tell you guys that I had my sell order at the 618? Look at that. One time, boom, boom. And guess what it's doing now? It's building. Same thing we saw in Link. So the next time, it ain't stopping there. That's gonna go up here. And guess what? Oh my God, things start to match up. I see a 786, I see a PSR, I see a 236 there. You better fucking believe I'm gonna take some profit on my trade somewhere in that vicinity there. Percentage wise, talking about a 3% difference, right? So I can spread some sell orders up there or manually take profit when I see it hit. If we get a breakout, overall profit from here to here is about 16%, 11 to 16% on the top range. I had an entry down here. I'm sorry. I had an entry here at 6-1. Now, why did I get in there? Right, we're going to dive in deeper. Zeeper. I grabbed fibs when we saw this pull, and I was like, you know what? I am going to put, let's use green color for now. I was like, I'm going to put my entry at like 61 something because I saw support. And so when the price breaks through, we usually retrace to those areas and hold there. Also, the 382 was there. So I think I had one entry at like 62, and then I had even a third entry down here at this the 236. But you don't want to be too greedy, right? I mean, look at that. So when I see that confluence, I think that's the right way to use that word, where I see, all right, what am I seeing? Oh, you know what? There's a fib here that I have that I just zoomed out to see, right? What it was. Other fibs that we've been running in the bigger picture. What am I looking at? You know, where's the price probably going to go for? So I think, yeah, I had an entry in the 62 and then one down here. I was so ninja. I was like 61.30 something. And I think I was like, all right, there was resistance there before that created this new low. So price will probably retrace to there. And now guess what though? And that's what I shared with you guys. I was like, look, entries are there, right? We still go to the 236, but I'll take my chances and get in here and I'll add. And I saved a whole bunch to add to my position here. And really my stop loss what needed to be, like, I think it was, I was thinking about a stop loss like all the way down here to use the 236 as protection. And that dental PSR. But here's what's cool. Why I have these fibs. The black fibs are the ones running all the way from the top. I use different colors. I didn't use them on this video, but I use the farthest right, the farthest move to the right, which would be from here to this bottom, would be the red fib. And then I use black for the next one and blues for my current one, like whatever the move we're currently in. So where's the price stopped, right? People will be confused. Oh my God. Well, they respected that 5%. So 95% retracement of the move, that area. There's buyers there. But come on, you don't need to buy exactly there. I mean, you could have bought at the 236, the blue there. Right, going back from there to here. Some people, like I said, will grab that last high before this broke through and put a new low, which actually technically be there. That was the last resistance before it broke that low. So same thing. You could say, you know what, I'm putting my entry at the 236. Boom. So I got out, I took profit in the 618 of that move. So then I remember measuring this and this. Let me delete the other greens. And I was like, all right, whenever we hit the 618, I'll take profit. And then I did. And then look, the price came all the way back to the 236. And this wick killed some people. Went even almost all the way to 98%. I took some profit at the 786 here. And so now you look for retracements and okay, boom, 5. So anyway, I hope this helps. It's really just spending time with your charts, PSRs, fibs, and sometimes you can also couple this with like moving averages. A good place to take profits is always going to be at the 200 moving average on a 4-hour chart. The first tap of that. These moving averages are getting underneath the price. And then we're going to go. I already tapped this, so this is the next tap we're going to get somewhere up here and then go here. I don't know, we might do something like BNB did. Just freaking go to work up there. So I had shared a BNB trade where I'd mapped this out. Grab my 618, I matched it with PSRs, right? And you got to look left too. And look at that, the first tap of the 5. Boom. Right there. And then there was the PSR. Right, now this move's got some power. So it broke right through the 618. And you're not going to get it perfect, but whatever. You took 25% of your profit out. Right, next tap, 786 in the zone here, and two extension. And then boom, of course, you would then expect this was resistance, now to flip into support. We'll come back to test this soon, but I worry about where this is at because we're at the 2618 extension. And then I also, this is my take on what BNB is probably going to do. So this could actually be the left shoulder, and this could be the head. Sometimes you think it's a head fake, and you think it's the actual head, and then it goes and it dumps and makes the head, and then it builds the shoulder. So I expect there to be good, consolidation here, but I still expect the price to then retrace back to at least like this zone. So from here to here, that'll be like a 382 or a 5 fib. I'd measure wherever this top end is going to be in this. It would be an odd shape for it to just then go all the way up. But it could also do one of these, like comes right here, puts a little shoulder, and it goes, which is also what's likely to happen. Right? Breaks over here, retest that zone of previous support, broke through it, boom, flips it, and goes. And then we look back at that chart, we're like, oh my god, look at that beautiful inverse head and shoulders, the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, this thing just fucking took off. The next big target for BNB is going to be the 618. They're going to work the fibs. So let's grab the top of there to the current bottom. Look at that. 382's been hit. So my take is they're going to retrace. I'm going to go for the 5 and the 618. 618 also matches PSRs there. Sorry for the stupid dots. I cannot figure out why these ideas from everybody else just randomly turn on. I remember how to turn them off, and then I forget. So I have to Google it again. Those will be a target on the way up. And then once we break through those, the next set of targets will be this current bottom, roughly there. So this should be about another 100%, 200% from here to here. Yeah, 100% to the 618. And once we clear this, whoa, once we clear this, holy shit, look at the open space. Once we clear this resistance, we'll go for the 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 3, 82, 1, 6, 1, 8, 786 with the 2, and then really the target on this will take months to get up here, but this will eventually come and hit. This will be a 500% move. Come hit the 200%. It's gonna happen. And during a bull run, you want to know where this shit's gonna go? My opinion, boom, up there. Just like we did that freaking enormous high. If you measure that from here to here, I bet you the 4.236 is there. That is where the target is. A lot of money right here, almost 1,000%. People that were not around for the bull run, they'd be like, oh, there's no way it would do that. There's no way it could make that much. Yeah, you don't know shit. I saw coins do 1,000%. Even BNB from when it got listed in Tether to here. Look at that, 1,100%. And you think that 800% is a big deal? Bullshit. All right, anyway. I'm done. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions.